This week on toDIYfor, I am tackling some thrift flips. This is one of my favorite things to do on the channel. Hey, I'm Janelle, and if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. I love sharing my DIYs with you, and I love to be able to share it with more people as well. So if you enjoy something, please feel free to share it with your friends as well. So we're doing some boho decor kind of items today. If you're a big fan of boho, I've got a lot of other boho decor items on my channel, and also a whole room makeover that I did in the last couple of weeks that's totally boho, so check that out if you haven't already seen it. But these thrift flips are things that I usually see at the thrift store, so things that you should hopefully be able to find at your own if you want to do these projects yourself. And I would say that probably the shelf that I'm making, a great alternative would be like that $2 spice rack that everybody hacks from IKEA. This is the perfect shelf to use if you can't find one similar to what I found at the thrift store. So let's just get right into it. Okay, so I have this cute little shelf and these bamboo placemats that I picked up both at the thrift store. We're actually going to take the placemats apart and use each little skewer here and chop it down to size to create a new kind of like backboard for this shelf. So you'll want wire cutters for this. Don't do scissors, use the wire cutters. It's super easy. You basically score the wood with the wire cutter and then you bend it back and forth nice and gently and it snaps right off. And if you don't do it that way, just chop it, it goes flying across the room. So if you can't find a placemat like I did, you can obviously just go to the store and buy some skewers from the grocery store. So once you have everything cut down, which it does take a little while, it's super simple and quick to glue it all along the backboard there. And I finished off the top with some more skewers just to create a clean, straight line there. And I love this new shelf. This is a wooden plate and I'm going to turn it into some wall decor. So we've got some macrame and a strand that cut across, and these longer strands are approximately 3 feet long. We're going to wrap each one of those around that main strand that goes across the plate. There's about 26 of these, I believe. And here is the basic knot I'm using. It takes 4 strands. So we've got kind of a 4. Make a 4 there with your outer strand, and then the opposite outer strand goes over top of that tail. It wraps right around those 2 center strands and it creates a little knot. I'll do this again for you. It's pretty simple. So this is now an opposite 4, and then that outer strand goes over top of that tail and through the hoop on the other side, and it creates a knot around those 2 center strands. So you need to alternate the 4 and the opposite 4, so your outer strands start differently each time. I did 3 of these knots in a row, and obviously you need to do these in groups of 4, so just make sure you have the right amount of strands when you are starting your macrame. So this is a super simple, easy knot. It's going to create a really pretty design. We did our full row across the top, and now for the second row, as you can see, I've grabbed 2 strands from 2 neighboring knots. So we're going to basically be linking those knots together. And what ultimately will end up happening is that 2 strands will be left out each time we make a new row. This is just partially the way it goes, but also because we're going to be making a smaller design because it's going to go down towards the bottom of the bowl as it tapers in. So once I had it all done, I actually ended up having to take out quite a few knots, so don't do more work than you need to like I did. Make sure you put it up against the plate to see how many more knots you need to do. But I basically wanted all of the knots to stop right at the edge of the plate, so I hot glued those all into place. And you can totally stop here, but I wanted to fray out the edges, so I used my boyfriend's mustache comb for this. Would not suggest. This took me way too long to do. If you get a dog brush, that seems to be the best way to fray out macrame ends like this. I really do love the effect that it gives though. I think it's a beautiful piece of wall decor. I want to know what you think of it though. Which DIY in this project did you like the most? I think I'm actually really obsessed with both of them. And like I said, this could be a perfect project for that simple IKEA spice rack that everyone hacks. So if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. Come back next week. Reach out to me on Instagram, Twitter. You can connect with me there, or ever send me some suggestions for next week as well. Cheers, and I'll be back next week with a new DIY.